Exploring the Abyss Within, Jung's Soul Journey in the Red Book, a manuscript sealed away for nearly a century, hailed as the most mysterious in the history of psychology, finally saw the light of day in 2009, stunning the world. This is the Red Book, Liber Novus, handwritten and illustrated by the Swiss psychologist Carl Gustav Jung himself, documenting his inner visions and self-experiments from 1913 to 1930. Why can a private diary become the key to understanding the depths of the human psyche, helping countless people find their path to self-integration? Now, let's together enter this inner epic filled with mythological imagery and philosophical insight, to explore how the soul is reborn from chaos. Chapter 1: The Loss of the Spirit of the Times and the Call of the Soul. At the beginning of the 20th century, Europe was in the golden age of rapid scientific and rational development. Freud's psychoanalysis was all the rage, and the aftershocks of the Industrial Revolution continued to propel society toward modernization, with people believing that logic, empiricism, and progress could solve all mysteries. Yet beneath this surface prosperity, many intellectuals began to feel a hidden emptiness, a thirst for the question of meaning. Jung, then 38 years old, was already a senior doctor at the Zurich Psychiatric Hospital, married with children and successful in his career. His collaboration with Freud had once brought him great fame, but in 1912 it ended in a complete rupture due to theoretical differences. This break was not merely an academic dispute, it marked the beginning of a deeper inner turmoil for Jung. Soon after the split, visions flooded in like a tide. He saw Europe drowned in blood and heard mysterious voices whispering in his ear. These were not random occurrences, but warnings from the collective unconscious. Jung clearly realized that modern civilization overly worshipped the spirit of the times, that outward-oriented, rational, efficiency, and achievement-driven collective mindset, while severely suppressing the spirit of the depths, the ancient wisdom rooted in myth, symbol, and soul. In his notes, he wrote, "Modern man has lost his soul. We project God outward, forgetting that it is within." This imbalance was not unique to Jung, but a symptom of the entire era. Many contemporaries, such as artists and poets, were expressing similar anxieties. Rationality brought material abundance, but could not fill the inner void. Jung decided to stop avoiding these visions and instead actively confront them. He called this the active imagination technique, relaxing the body and mind, allowing unconscious content to emerge, and then engaging in dialogue with it. A Swedish architect named Erik Nordstrom, at the age of 50, faced a similar crisis. He had designed countless modern buildings, yet at the peak of his career felt life was meaningless. At night, he repeatedly dreamed of abandoned churches and vanishing ancient symbols. By learning Jung's methods, he began recording dreams and daytime fantasies, gradually discovering his long-suppressed artistic impulses. In the end, he abandoned commercial architecture and turned to designing public spaces infused with mythological elements, such as a meditation garden in Stockholm that became deeply loved by the public. Jung's beginning tells us that the call of the soul often appears in the form of crisis, depression, anxiety, visions. These are not pathologies, but invitations to delve deeper into the self. Suppressing them with rationality only worsens the split. On the contrary, actively listening can initiate the journey of individuation, the process of personality developing toward wholeness. At this stage, Jung also distinguished between the personal unconscious and the collective unconscious. The former consists of repressed personal experiences, while the latter is the archetypal layer shared by all humanity. He believed that the images appearing in visions were not personal inventions, but revivals of ancient myths. This laid the foundation for the subsequent journey, We are not isolated individuals, but vessels carrying millennia of human wisdom. Jung's discovery stemmed from his early, extensive studies of mythology and religion. He read numerous Eastern classics, such as the I Ching and Indian Vedic texts, and delved deeply into Gnostic teachings and alchemical writings. These ancient wisdom traditions convinced him that the collective unconscious is like an underground treasury, storing archetypal images common to all humanity: the hero, the shadow, the anima, the wise old man, and others. These archetypes are not personal creations, but psychological patterns inherited through evolution, activating at critical moments to help individuals cope with life crises. Jung emphasized that ignoring the collective unconscious leads modern people into neurosis, superficially rational and powerful, yet inwardly fragmented. Connecting with it, on the other hand, brings creativity and spiritual renewal. In his visions, these archetypes began to come alive, first appearing vaguely in dreams, then gradually becoming clear dialogue partners. This foreshadowed that the journey would deepen from the personal level into humanity's shared destiny. Many later psychologists were inspired by this, applying archetypal theory to dream analysis and art therapy. For example, a French film director named Jean-Pierre Duval felt empty after years of shooting commercial films. He began studying Jungian archetypes and discovered that the recurring shadow figure in his dreams reflected repressed anger. By actively confronting it, he created a film exploring the dark side of human nature, winning a major award at the Cannes Film Festival. This case shows that the collective unconscious is not just theory, but a living force capable of transforming individual lives. Jung's distinction also helps us understand cultural differences. The West emphasizes the individual hero, while the East focuses on harmonious wholeness, yet both draw from the same archetypal reservoir. Ultimately, this foundation elevates the Red Book beyond a private diary into a map of the human psyche. Chapter 2: The Desert Journey and the Descent of Hell. The soul led Jung into a barren desert, a landscape symbolizing the arid state of the modern psyche. No water, no vegetation, just endless yellow sand and scorching sun. The desert journey is the earliest sequence of visions in the Red Book, where Jung experienced extreme loneliness and despair. Along the way, he encountered a mysterious old man and a young woman who guided him forward, but also brought trials. The old man represents the wise old man archetype, while the woman foreshadows the emergence of the anima. In the desert, Jung suddenly saw visions of future hell: Europe swallowed by floods, glaciers covering the land, humanity struggling in war and destruction. These visions remarkably prophesied World War I and the subsequent upheavals. A deeper trial was the impulse to murder the hero. The hero symbolizes the rational ego, that arrogant, controlling attitude of consciousness. Jung understood that to delve deeper into the unconscious, he must first sacrifice this hero. He wrote, "The hero must die so that the god can be born." This sacrificial process was filled with pain. Jung felt the pull on the edge of madness, as if his personality was about to disintegrate. But he persisted in recording and reflecting, avoiding actual mental breakdown. An Italian novelist named Giuseppe Lanza experienced a similar desert phase during a creative low. He had relied on rational plotting, but fell into exhaustion. In dreams, he repeatedly saw deserts and scenes of the hero's death. Through active imagination, he allowed the hero to die, giving up perfectionist control and accepting the chaotic images surging from the unconscious. As a result, his next novel was filled with mythological depth and won an international literary prize. The Desert Journey also brought the first appearance of Abraxas. This ancient Gnostic god fuses good and evil, light and darkness, transcending Christian dualism. In the vision, Jung saw it burning like the sun, symbolizing a higher integrative power. The descent of hell is not the endpoint, but purification. Jung saw humanity's self-destructive tendencies, but also glimpsed the possibility of rebirth, a new God rising from the ruins. At the end of the desert, he gained initial insight. Answers lie not in external authority, but in bravely facing inner mysteries. The core teaching of this chapter is that inner barrenness is not a curse, but a necessary stage of growth. Only by traversing loneliness and the fear of destruction can we touch deeper wisdom. Desert imagery recurs in world myths, such as Moses receiving the 10 Commandments in the Sinai Desert, or the Buddha facing Mara's temptations under the Bodhi tree. These stories remind us that barrenness is a purification phase, clearing away old attachments to make space for the new. Jung's desert was not only personal but a collective prophecy. The floods and glaciers he saw symbolized the wars and ideological conflicts of the 20th century. These visions made him foresee that humanity needed to undergo a collective death of the hero, sacrificing rational arrogance for more humble wisdom. Abraxas, as the god of wholeness, first appeared as a spherical form like an egg, with flames of good and evil burning inside. This image draws from ancient solar worship, representing divine wholeness. Jung later repeatedly drew similar patterns in his Mandalas to balance inner conflicts. A Spanish painter named Mare Esteban fell into despair after losing her husband. She dreamed of endless deserts and burning suns. By painting these images, she gradually accepted her grief and eventually created a series called Fire of Rebirth, which deeply moved audiences at a Madrid exhibition. Her experience proves that hellish visions, though terrifying, contain seeds of regeneration. The desert journey also involves the absence of water. Water symbolizes emotion and the flow of the unconscious, while drought indicates emotional depletion. By persistently recording, Jung slowly dug an inner spring. This teaches us that in life's low points, we should not rush to escape, but stay and observe, waiting for the inner oasis to emerge. Ultimately, the stage paved the way for subsequent mythological encounters, emerging from barrenness into lush castles and gardens. Chapter 3 Encounters with mythological figures and inner dialogues. Leaving the desert, Jung entered a forest castle and an underground library filled with mythological figures. They were no longer background, but autonomous interlocutors challenging Jung's beliefs. The most important trio was Elijah, Salome, and the Black Serpent. The prophet Elijah is the wise old man archetype, representing the Logos spirit. Salome is the fatal woman, symbolizing the anima and repressed emotions. The Black Serpent is earthly power, foreshadowing transformation. At first encounter, Salome filled Jung with fear. She demanded worship and even tempted him to murder Elijah. Jung initially resisted, seeing it as a fallen impulse. But through ongoing dialogue, he realized Salome was not an external temptation, but his own unintegrated feminine aspect. Accepting her meant balancing yin and yang, achieving an inner marriage. The Black Serpent coiled around the three, symbolizing the Kundalini serpent rising energy transforming from instinct to spirit. This imagery draws from Indian yoga and alchemy, which Jung incorporated into psychology. In the castle, there were also the professor and the inferior man. The professor represents rational science, mocking myth, yet unable to comprehend depth. The inferior man brings joy and instinct, reminding Jung not to be overly serious. A Canadian psychotherapist named Sophia Leclerc felt burnout after many years in practice. She dreamed of a similar trio: an old man, a serpent, and a blind woman. Through drawing and dialogue, she accepted her anima and developed a more intuitive healing style. Her patients reported that she could touch emotional cores more profoundly. Jung also experienced incantations and the opening of the cosmic egg. When the egg cracked, new power surged out, symbolizing the first appearance of the self. The hell journey was reenacted. He sacrificed his old self, and divine madness descended. This madness was not pathological, but the peak of archetypal activation. Through these dialogues, Jung realized that mythological figures are messengers from the collective unconscious. They bring conflict, but also guide integration. Avoiding them stalls the personality. Facing them advances individuation. This stage also reveals the theme of death. In an underground temple, Jung saw remnants of early deities, understanding that the human psyche inherits ancient wisdom. Modern people must reconnect with these roots to find meaning. The underground temple scenes are particularly vivid. Jung saw layers of superimposed god images, from primordial mother goddesses to Greek gods to Christian icons. These remnants symbolize psychic archaeology, excavating layers buried by rationality. The death theme deepens here. He felt the gaze of the dead, foreshadowing the later 7 sermons. The conflict between Salome and Elijah is dramatic. Like a biblical story, Salome demands the sacrifice of the old man. Jung intervenes to mediate, ultimately achieving unity among the 3. This symbolizes the integration of consciousness, emotion, and instinct. The black serpent, as guardian, spits out pearl-like wisdom, drawing from Eastern dragon serpent imagery representing awakened latent energy. The incantation part is full of mystery. Jung chants ancient languages, the eggshell shatters, and a new divine bird flies out. This bird later became a common motif in his Mandalas, symbolizing soul rebirth. Divine madness is a key moment. Archetypal energy floods consciousness, bringing ecstasy and fear. Jung called this divine intrusion, similar to shamanic trance or artistic inspiration bursts. A Brazilian musician named Carlos Almeida felt lost in a monotonous pop music career. He experienced similar mad visions and expressed serpent and bird imagery through drumming, creating an album fusing tribal rhythms that revived indigenous culture. His transformation shows that embracing madness can release creativity. The dialogues between the professor and the inferior man satirize the limits of rationality. The professor debates logic, but ignores life's joy. The inferior man, though crude, is full of vitality. This reminds us that complete personality must embrace all levels, high and low. The underground library holds countless books, yet they remain dust-covered and unmoving, symbolizing that knowledge only gains meaning when activated inwardly. Through these encounters, Jung gradually shifted from fear to awe, understanding the unconscious not as enemy, but as teacher. Chapter 4: The 3 Prophecies and the Gifts of Magic. As the journey deepened, the soul revealed to Jung 3 prophecies: the birth of a new god, necessary sacrifice, and the way of the cross. The new god is still Abraxas, transcending the duality of good and evil, presenting wholeness. The prophecies suggest that future humanity must embrace opposites to avoid collective catastrophe. Sacrifice requires letting go of egocentrism, while the cross symbolizes the painful path that leads to redemption. The key figure Philemon appears. He is a magician with blue wings, living in a magical garden, symbolizing the wise mentor archetype. Philemon taught Jung that true magic is inner transformation, not external control. One of the gifts is the mandala. Philemon guided Jung to draw circular images with centers and symmetry, symbolizing the wholeness of the self. These drawings stabilized Jung's psyche, preventing fragmentation. An Australian entrepreneur named Liam O'Connor collapsed during a company crisis. He learned mandala drawing, creating one each day, and gradually restored inner order. In the end, he restructured his company with greater humanistic care, making the business more sustainable. Jung also encountered the red one, the cook, and the library spirit. The red one brings primordial power, the cook symbolizes nourishment, and the library spirit discusses the limits of books. Jung realized that knowledge, though precious, must be activated into inner experience. The three prophecies point to the future. Individuation will contribute to collective evolution. The birth of the new God requires countless people to sacrifice their old selves and walk the way of the cross. The gift of magic is the active imagination technique itself. It allows modern people to dialogue with the unconscious, regaining ancient wisdom. Fileman's garden is rich in symbols. Blue wings indicate spiritual ascension. Tree fruits represent the fruits of wisdom. The red one brings earth energy. The cook prepares soul food, and the library spirit guards dead knowledge. These figures together teach that magic lies in transformation. External events mirror inner processes. The three prophecies unfold layer by layer. The first is the birth of the new God, emphasizing the era's need to transcend old religious dualism. The second is necessary sacrifice, pointing to individuals letting go of egocentrism. The third is the way of the cross, symbolizing integration through pain, leading to redemption. The mandala as a gift is the most practical. Jung drew them daily, with patterns gradually becoming symmetrical from chaos, reflecting the restoration of inner order. Many patterns survive in the original manuscript of the Red Book, rich in color and precise in geometry. A Dutch teacher named Anna van der Wiel suffered burnout under student pressure. She started mandala workshops. Participants released emotions through drawing, improving the classroom atmosphere. This application shows that the gifts are not only personal, but can be shared collectively. The dialogue between the Red One and Philemon involves cultural fusion. The Red One represents Native American wisdom, challenging Eurocentrism. From this, Jung developed cross-cultural psychology influencing anthropology. Cross imagery appears multiple times, such as Jung nailing himself to the cross, symbolizing voluntary sacrifice. This draws from Christianity, yet fuses alchemical, painful transformation. The prophecies overall point to the future. In the 21st century, humanity needs collective individuation to avoid catastrophe. Through these gifts, Jung gained tools not only to heal himself, but also to lay the foundation for analytical psychology. Chapter 5: The Seven Sermons and the Redemption of the Dead. The climax of the Red Book is the seven sermons to the dead. Jung faced a group of dead who had returned from Jerusalem unsatisfied, demanding teachings. The dead symbolize unresolved ancestral issues, collective trauma, and humanity's unfinished missions. Philemon, in the name of the ancient Gnostic father Basilides, delivered the seven sermons. The sermons outline a cosmological model. Pleroma is the primordial wholeness from which God separates, creating the world. Opposites arise: good and evil, light and darkness, spirit and matter. Humanity's task is to distinguish opposites, yet ultimately integrate them. Abraxas is the higher God who unites everything. After the sermons, the dead found peace and turned toward rebirth. Jung understood that individuation is not just personal, but heals ancestors and descendants. A South African British woman named Nora van der Merwe struggled with family racial trauma. Through family rituals and inner sermons, she felt her ancestors released. Afterward, she devoted herself to reconciliation work, influencing her community. The seven sermons fuse Gnostic, Christian, and Eastern thought, proposing a new spiritual view. They influence depth psychology, emphasizing wholeness over dualistic judgment. Here Jung sublimates: individual work creates ripples, affecting the collective unconscious. The content of the seven sermons is profound. The first describes pleroma, the primordial void, containing all potential. The second through sixth analyze the emergence of opposites, such as God and devil, stars and void. The seventh elevates Abraxas as the effective God uniting all. The dead danced away after listening, symbolizing release from unfinished missions. This scene moved Jung, convincing him that personal work has cosmic significance. Speaking as Basilides draws from a 2nd century Gnostic father, but Jung infused it with modern insights. The sermon language is poetic, such as, God is the union of sun and moon, good and evil coexisting. An American veteran named James Harrington suffered from war trauma. Through group reading of the 7 sermons, he felt ancestral soldiers' souls at rest, PTSD symptoms eased, and he turned to peace advocacy. His story shows the sermons heal collective trauma. The fusion of Eastern thought appears in the holistic view, similar to Taoist yin-yang unity or Buddhist emptiness. Jung deepened this in later years through exchanges with Eastern scholars. The dead coming from Jerusalem symbolizes the dissatisfaction of the Christian tradition. Modern people need new myths to supplement old faith. After the sermons, the garden flourished with blooming flowers, foreshadowing a new era. This climax shifted Jung from passive visions to active creation, paving the way for the Mandala phase. Chapters drawing mandalas and the manifestation of the self. In the later period, Jung drew many mandalas. These circular images emerged naturally, filled with symmetry, crosses, and centers. Mandalas symbolize the self, the core of personality, integrating consciousness and unconscious. The drawing process brought calm and insight. Imagery included the divine child, double serpents entwined, phoenix, rebirth, foreshadowing new birth and eternal cycles. A Korean designer named Ji-yoon Kim suffered anxiety in a fast-paced life. She began daily mandala practice, incorporating traditional Korean patterns, and found inner harmony. Her works were later featured in international exhibitions. Jung faced his inner I, which criticized his selfishness, yet he learned humility. The soul became a lifelong companion, exploring together. The self manifested like an inner star, guiding direction. It is not an endpoint, but an ongoing process. Mandalas teach that natural order hides within chaos. Through artistic expression, we manifest inner wholeness. Later mandalas varied. Some quartered symmetrically with golden light at the center. Others featured serpents, birds, phoenixes, symbolizing transformative cycles. The divine child appeared repeatedly innocent yet ancient, representing future potential. Double serpents entwined like the hermetic caduceus, balancing energy. The phoenix rising from ashes, eternal rebirth theme. Jung recorded that each drawing brought a day of calm. This practice proves art is a bridge to the unconscious. An Indian yoga teacher named Prabha Singh incorporated mandalas into meditation. Students reported enhanced inner peace. His centers fused Indian yantras with Jungian patterns, a cross-cultural innovation. The stage of criticism from the inner I was difficult. Jung heard voices accusing him of selfishness. He responded with humility, learning to serve rather than control. The soul-companion relationship deepened, like an inner marriage, with dialogue continuing into old age. The self as a star not only shines, but guides navigation. Jung's later works all centered on this. The teaching of order within chaos is universal. Life appears disordered on the surface, yet inwardly has a self-organizing tendency. By persistently expressing, we help this process manifest. Chapters returning to the world and eternal revelations. The visions gradually faded, and Jung returned to daily life. He transformed the experiences into theory, collective unconscious, archetypes, individuation, the process of becoming whole. The Red Book became the source of everything, though sealed for many years, guiding his later work. The revelations are eternal. Each person has a unique myth to live out. Modern people need to write their own red book through dreams, drawing, active imagination, facing the unconscious. Applications are broad. Active imagination heals trauma, Mandalas relieves stress, archetypal analysis understands relationships. A Chinese educator named Jung read the Red Book during a career transition. She began journaling and symbolic drawing, found her inner calling, shifted to psychological education, and helped countless students. Jung's journey proves that treasure hides in the abyss. By bravely exploring, we achieve the self and contribute to world peace. In today's era, the Red Book is like a lighthouse, reminding us that the spirit of the depths endures forever. Amid external noise, listening to the inner voice is how we find true freedom and wholeness. The soul's journey has no end. It continues in every heart, awaiting awakening. In his later years, Jung reflected that the Red Book was his most important work, yet too personal to publish promptly. Released in 2009, it has influenced psychology, art, and spirituality worldwide. Many regard it as a modern sacred text, offering a guide to confronting the unconscious. In today's fast-paced society, it reminds us to pause and listen inwardly, avoiding collective neurosis. Applications expand. Businesses use archetypal analysis for team dynamics, education uses Mandalas to develop creativity, therapy uses active imagination to process shadows. Zhang Lan's case is typical. She shifted from traditional teaching to psychological counseling, with students reporting greater confidence and happiness. This shows the Red Book's wisdom is cross-culturally applicable. Jung proved that exploring personal depths contributes to the world. His theories have helped countless people integrate personality and promote peaceful understanding. The eternal revelation is that each person has a unique soul. Journey, no need to imitate Jung, just bravely begin. Through journals, drawings, dream records, we write our own red books. Ultimately, realizing the self is not only personal fulfillment, but a step in human evolution. In chaotic times, this lighthouse shines brighter, guiding us from fragmentation to wholeness, from fear to love.